Hello, I'm Jane Mangold from the Eastern Oregon Agricultural Research Center and the Agricultural Research Service. This week, the Eastern Oregon Ag Minute will be focusing on soils. Soil means different things to different people. To a farmer or gardener, it is a medium for growing plants. To an engineer, it is something to build on or remove before construction can occur. To a hydrologist, soil functions as a water purification system. And to a child, soil is simply something fun to play in. Regardless of your perspective, soil is a natural, always changing substance that is vitally linked to life as we know it. Soil is formed by interactions of climate, organisms, and topography, acting on parent material over a period of time, usually hundreds to thousands of years. Because soil takes so long to form, it is important to use it carefully in order to maintain its long-term productivity. Please join me through the week for a crash course in dirt appreciation. Today I'd like to discuss how soil is formed. Soil is formed by the weathering of rocks and minerals, referred to as parent material. Cycles of freezing and thawing and wetting and drying, coupled with temperature, moisture, and wind levels of a region, influence how quickly parent material is broken down. As plants and animals die, they add organic matter to the weathered parent material. Slope and aspect affect the moisture and temperature of soil, which in turn influences the intensity of weathering and the organisms involved in soil formation. It may take hundreds of years to form 1 inch of soil from parent material, emphasizing the importance of soil conservation. Once parent material is weathered into granules, organisms such as moles, earthworms, bacteria, and fungi tunnel through and digest food found in the soil, which mixes and enriches the soil. To keep from losing soil, farmers and ranchers can implement conservation tillage, avoid overgrazing on steep slopes and in and along stream beds, and establish windbreaks of trees or shrubs. Homeowners can build terraces on steep areas of their lawn and install splash guards on gutter outlets to help reduce erosion at the foundation of the house. We've been talking about soil this week. You may think dirt is dirt, but soils have important and unique characteristics that separate one type from another. One of these characteristics is texture. Texture is the size of the mineral particles making up the soil. They are sand, silt, and clay. Sand is the largest particle size. Silt is medium-sized particles, and clay is the smallest. You can get a rough estimate of the texture of a soil by wetting the soil and rubbing it between your fingers and thumb. Sandy soil will feel gritty, silty soil will feel smooth and silky, and clay soil will feel sticky. Soils are grouped into one of 12 categories based on their respective amounts of sand, silt, and clay. For example, a sandy clay contains about 60% sand and 45% clay. Sandy soils drain quickly, while clayey soils hold water for a longer period of time. A loamy soil contains relatively equal portions of sand, silt, and clay, and is ideal for plant growth. The majority of soils in the high desert are loam to deep clayey soils in basins, and deep sandy to shallow clayey soils on terraces. To a large degree, the texture of the soil determines its value for crop and grass production. Today we'll talk about another soil characteristic, soil horizons, which are layers of soil with distinct features. Horizons are designated by capital letters. The O horizon is dominated by organic material, such as leaves and twigs, that have been deposited on or near the surface. Below the O horizon is the A horizon, or topsoil, where the majority of plant growth occurs. Next is the B horizon, often referred to as subsoil. This is a zone of accumulation where rainwater percolating through the soil has leached and deposited materials from above. The C horizon is the next layer. It has only been lightly affected by soil forming processes, and probably changed very little since the time the material was deposited. Finally, the R horizon is hard bedrock that usually requires heavy machinery or blasting to dig through. Next time you're plowing your field or garden, digging fence post holes, or driving down the highway where the earth has been cut away, look for the different layers or horizons present in the soil. You might be surprised how easy it is to distinguish them based on differences in color and structure. I'm Jane Mangold. Thanks for joining me today. We've been talking about soils this week, especially how soils are classified based on their characteristics. Soils are categorized into large groups or families called orders. Orders differ by overall color, number and appearance of the horizons, underlying parent material, overlying vegetation, and on a smaller scale, properties such as pH, texture, and mineral content. Orders differ by overall color, number and appearance of the horizons, underlying parent material, overlying vegetation, and on a smaller scale, properties such as pH, texture, and mineral content. 12 soil orders encompass every soil in the United States, with most states claiming at least 10 of the 12 orders. Soils of Harney County are primarily of the mollisol and iridisol orders. Mollisols are dark-colored, base-rich, productive soils, often formed under grass or open forest vegetation. Iridisols are light-colored soils of dry regions that are depleted of plant-available soil moisture for most of the summer. They have shrub grass vegetation and juniper or stunted ponderosa pine in places.